So, good evening. Welcome to another Michigan Military Technical and Historical Society Museum vehicle restoration video. I'll bring you guys up to date on where we're at on the 151 project. So here you can see it's on the rotisserie. Got it on here last night with the help of Mr. Crane that's back there in the background, my A-frame. If you're going to do this, I highly recommend getting some friends to come over and help you. I did it by myself here last night, yeah, it was not fun, but I got it done. It's on there. It's balanced. We got her up on the side. I've already spun it a couple times, and I'm working on it. So, good opportunity here to take a look at the design of the 151. To the modern automotive person, this is nothing out of the ordinary, but remember, this was designed in the 50s. I think 57 I believe is when this design was accepted. This particular one was built in May of '62, so this was really a highly revolutionary design, fully unitized. This was like state of the art, futuristic stuff when this came out. Kind of cool the way it's designed here. You got these 8. There's 4 on each frame rail for the front cradle. So the front suspension is independent with a short long arm setup that you take these 8 bolts out and the whole thing rolls out as a unit. I've got most of it over here on the shelf. The cradle itself is upstairs out of my way at the moment, but it came on there. And then in the back, again, independent rear suspension, which was something highly unusual for late 50s, early 60s. The rear differential mounted to these 3 points. You had a coil spring pocket, and then you had a lower control arm only A-frame, so you did not, with no ball joint. The hub and bearing were mounted solidly, so as that rear control arm swung through its arc, the tire swung through the same arc and did not remain flat on the ground, which was one of the design issues with this particular vehicle that caused it to be somewhat controversial. Take a look here. You can see passenger side rocker panel. This was definitely picked up with a forklift. You can see how the rocker panels rolled. We're going to have to address that. It's rusted somewhat badly, so we'll see. Battery box floor, typical of these, is rotten, but the rest of the floor is not bad. We might be able to just patch it. You can see these were undercoated. I've started to remove the undercoating from some of the frame rails. Just been out here kind of scraping away at the undercoating and trying to get it off. So it's kind of cool to think that probably the first person to see this paint since May of 1962. Kind of cool how vibrant the color still is after all this time being protected by that undercoating. So down here you can see, typical 151 issues. We got some rust forming there at the pinch welds. That frame rail is going to need to be rebuilt. And then this front cross member is just toast. I mean, all the way, it's completely rotted down here. It's crushed in the middle, and up here it's starting to rot. And I'm sure that once I get the pick hammer out and start chopping at it, that I'm going to find that it's fairly bad. So I've got one of the large underbody repair kits in the basement at the museum. I'll be dragging that up, and I believe that this is one of the parts that's in it. At least I'm hoping it is. And so we get all this undercoating off, get this thing sandblasted and cleaned and painted, cleaned, and then primed, and then we'll start figuring out the patchwork. Obviously, battery box floor, driver's footwell. You can see down here there's some, I don't know if it's going to be easier to patch or just replace. You can get these panels reproduction, so we'll see what happens. While we're on this side, I wanted to take a look or give you an opportunity to look here. So remember, this vehicle had the NTAC anti-tank guided missile system on it. So here you can see on the top and on the bottom the missile unit itself mounted to the tops of the rear fenders, and you can see that this reinforcing system that they put on there to stabilize that fender, which is really just sheet metal. So they have these reinforcing plates on both sides, and that's what the missile system itself mounted to. So we'll walk around here. And again, I don't know if I didn't say it before, thanks to Bill and Jan from the Military Vehicle Collectors Club of Michigan for letting me borrow their rotisserie that was already all set up for a 151. Made this so much easier. So let's see if we can step back here, take a better look. So there you can see it's fully unitized body, front fenders all the way to the back tail, all one piece. Very state-of-the-art for its day. But you can see here, driver's footwell, typical rust. Battery box is toast. The rest of this panel doesn't look that bad, so I don't know, we might be patching that. But gas tank well is beautiful, which I'm surprised, because that's a common rust area. Toolbox looks pretty solid. Again, an opportunity to look at the hinge for the toolbox lid, and like I think I may have said in a previous video, I believe that was removed as part of the installation of the missile system, because the gunner seat, which replaced the passenger seat, swiveled so that it could face forward or rearward, because the missiles could be fired forward or backward. And by removing that lid, it gives the gunner a place to put his feet facing forward and a place to put his feet facing backward. Here's the holes, top and bottom, or left and right, like top and bottom in this case, which is where the missile system was mounted. And you can see there's these little brackets everywhere that have the remnants of canvas straps in them. So they were and they're all metric. So they were part of the missile system. There was one mounted here, and there was another one mounted here. Obviously, something to strap down something. You can see the L-shaped kind of rot pattern in the floor. That's where the box for the missile system was mounted. It's an L-shaped aluminum box. So again, you can see wherever that aluminum box was touching the steel floor, you had you see, probably going to use the wrong term, like galvanic or a reaction between the dissimilar metals. And so you have this part of the floor is beautiful, but over here, wherever the aluminum was touching, it has this pitting and corrosion issues. So we'll have to address all that. But so we've made a fairly good step forward on this. Probably have to mechanically come out here and remove as much of the undercoating as I can, because the blast cabinet, the media blasters generally don't do well with undercoating. So it seems to be flaking off pretty readily. So you can see, this was just playing around tonight. I don't know if you can see it real well, but that's what I've scraped off of it just in like the last hour. So this little 5-gallon bucket is going to be very full by the time I'm done. So I guess that's enough for tonight. We'll leave you with one final overview of our body mounted on the rotisserie. And again, so once this is done, which this one's going to take a while, but once it's done, we want to be able to put it in the museum so that people can see it. And right now we're running out of space at our current location and current building, so we either need a bigger building or we need to add on, and either one of those takes money. And restoring all these vehicles also takes money. So please go to MIMTHS, that's Mike India Mike Tango Hotel Sierra, at MIMTHS, again, Mike India Mike Tango Hotel Sierra.org. Go to the Support the Museum button, and we'll send in your donations. Help us keep all these things rolling, keep these projects going. And be sure to like and subscribe to our videos. Hopefully one day, maybe we'll have enough subscribers to actually monetize our videos, but you know, big dreams. All right, so enough of my babbling for the night. See y'all later, and check out our other videos. All right.